why a podcast for you? Other than the obvious reasons that we're attention seekers and things like that. Just kidding. What is the motivation?
Yeah. I think that in some point in my career, I wanted to contribute back. I like to volunteer. I do it like in Israel, I did a lot, different forms. But I thought when I'm moving here, based on my career and the thing that I have, the achievements, and I have to share it. So someone can take one of the things that I can say. And a podcast, I think it's a great way to communicate it to the entire planet. I'm glad I met you, and we can sit on a coffee, and you can hear my thoughts, and you can say it's a bullshit, it's not, it's good, it's bad. But if I'm sitting here in a podcast and I'm speaking to everyone that want to listen, I'm actually democratize my ideas. And you can say, I like it, you vote in or out.
Yeah.
But I'm getting to everyone. And this is one of the reasons that I want to be on a podcast. It's a way to put my voice. Maybe my voice is saying rubbish. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get feedback.
And feedback is important. And the other side of the story, I can learn from that. Yeah. Makes sense.
And I think that it also allows, some sort of voice that will resonate with some people, both good and bad, but also maybe even more people will reach out to even contradict what you might be saying, which I also think is fun and interesting too, because it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just we want to share, we want to learn. So for me, I would just say, same kind of stuff, add a couple things to it. One is I find in my working environment, I've met so many interesting people that are not well known or normally the guest on a podcast, or maybe even themselves seek to have a platform, but they're very interesting people to talk to. Yeah. I think one of the things I wanted to do was just hopefully with a format we're using, which is not too long, it's Q&A discussion, that there's a lot of people we can talk to in this format that you could learn from that do different things in the world, whether it be tech, whether it be cyber, whether it be just building businesses, the investors, the other startup founders. There's just so many people. But I think for me, sometimes I feel like I'm hearing from the same people all the time, or the same guests are rotating through everybody's platform. I want to just talk to more people. Maybe you call them regular people, maybe whatever you want to label them, who we interact with and deal with all the day, but that some people haven't met them. So that's, for me, one of the things I want to do. I also learn through asking. So I think every time we've had a guest shoot already so far, like I've learned some things because we're asking them these questions that I'm generally curious about. Yeah. And there's just something to like the practice of trying to meet these people, interview them, and get this done, I think has already been pretty fulfilling. Right. Now, I know we haven't launched, which we're going to get to, and I'm sure some people will watch it and go like, why is this interesting? But we'll see. We'll hopefully improve. Yeah. But there's already been like a fun factor for just we're booking so-and-so. We got some questions prepped for you already. I think the one I already enjoyed, which we'll be launching, was with Perrin, where he's turning the tables on us. Probably not as much as he could have, but it was interesting to have that dynamic. But there's a lot of interesting people out there in our own ecosystem. And that's one of the things I think we want to do. And I think for myself, I had also been wanting to do one for a very long time. And I had probably even recordings on my phone where I did the stand in front of my laptop with the camera. And I'm like, and then I had ones where I'm like, I'm going to call so-and-so. I had some prep docs for it. I never really liked the finished result because there's just something to the sitting here, being in an environment that kind of brings up the professionalism, also amps me up a little bit. Like it's the studio, the click of the thing, the lights.
Getting ready.
Yeah, it's just, now I feel like what some stars maybe feel. Like I just like the process and the environment. It has created some sort of excitement for me. I think the other thing is realizing that there's a bunch of things I'm not good at, audio and video. And I know you can get equipment for this. I know you can learn to do it, and I can get better mics. It's just not the same. And I also don't want to spend, this is where I talk about generalism, especially. I'm not a specialist for that stuff, and I don't want to spend time doing it.
Yeah.
So for me, and I had been working with Borko at Microsoft and had heard about the studio in Dubai. And I was just like, man, this is going to be so cool when this is in Singapore. And we're going to do this, right? So it's taken us some time to get it rolling. It will take us some time to get it live. But I think it started just this whole snowball of, met you, talked about this. Borko gets open. Borko gets ready to start taking us on. And then hitting the ground running with getting a few under our belt has been super fulfilling. And also, I think is already teaching us a lot about how to improve. So for me, it's just all come together and culminated in let's do this.
Yeah. And when we do that and we study, then we're getting improved. And I think this is one of the operational mode that both of us has during the career. Yeah. We have to do that. We need to execute. Yeah, maybe it's not going to be the best results outcome in the first steps.
Yeah.
But when you keep nurturing it and understand, okay, it can be better, it can be better, it can be better, then you're getting into a place. I want to double click on this spot, on this studio, on Podstar. It's also going to give the ability for any visitor around the globe that want maybe to join us, will say, hey, I'm coming to Singapore. Maybe I should ping you, and we're gonna have like an amazing location just to host she or he to be here, because Singapore for me, you're here 17 years, I'm here almost a year. It's an amazing business hub.
Yes.
People stop here. 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine in Singapore, he sent in the WhatsApp community, he sent a selfie with Tim Cook. Yeah, like, what's up? I look at it again. No, it's not the guy. No, it's the guy.
Yeah.
The guy that managed Apple was in the Marina Sands by the Bay. Yeah. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
So these people, not just him and not just celebrities, also important people that moving the wheel. Maybe they're going to have a chance to be with us over here and share what we want them to share about the journey and etc. So.
Yeah, and I think the fun thing about the Podster setup is there's Dubai. So I envision we will probably be having a couple-day trip there eventually where we anchor down some Dubai dates and people that we can interview in Dubai. And in fact, there's a couple different studios we can use while we're there. I think one's in a gym or something, which is fun.
Cool. Gym is my thing.
One's in a movie thing or something. So yeah, like one's in like a nightclub setting, I think. So we're gonna definitely do that. That's gonna be on our radar.
A cast run.
Yeah, there we go. And then I think the futuristic plans of Podster maybe to be in other parts of the world. So yeah, that gives us a nice ability to anchor down a few guests in different parts of the world. But yeah, this is what's always been amazing for me is the density level of Singapore for this type of stuff is incredible, right? They have Super AI this week. There's like an event every night. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to have to ratchet up our keeping track of these things and inviting the people on the inbound so that we can stick to the studio setting.